How dare them get their own taste buds?
I know, right? He actually loved mango so much. I remember his poo used to smell of it.
Nice.
It is so hard to get 5 people to agree on what they all want the same thing for dinner. We make hidden veg sausage rolls.
They got veg in?
Hidden... Yes. It is like the bane of your life.
Yeah.
What's for dinner?
Yeah. And then
But
you got
then-
friends and family come around and just eat it all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Did you invent that
I
hack?
think I invented that hack.
No.
I think I did. Yeah, you've got a hack, haven't you?
No.
You choose
Sausages, beans every time. You just can't go wrong. Salt and vinegar. Oh,
Yeah.
you're making me hungry.
Did you have it tonight?
Yes.
Hi guys, I'm Emily.
And I'm Matt.
And welcome back to our podcast, What They Don't Tell You.
But we will.
Yes, the podcast where we talk about all the lessons that we've learned and are still learning in parenting. And this week we are talking all about feeding babies and kids because it takes up a lot of our time, doesn't it?
Sucks the life out of you.
Yes, and it's soul destroying.
It is soul destroying, isn't it?
Yes, so we're going to be sharing with you what's worked, what hasn't, and some helpful tips as well because our children are 14, 11, and 8. So we are actually on the other side with some of our kids, aren't we?
Some. No, we are. Obviously, even
With
our
the
youngest, they eat pretty well now.
Yeah, they
And
do.
you realise that you were in the thick of it, like when they were younger. To be fair, they ate as much, but it's obviously the mess as well, isn't it? And it's the whole, like we said, soul destroying. They try everything, and then now we're at the stage where they're like, you love that as a baby.
Yeah.
But now you like turn your nose up because you've got your own personality and like you can decide for yourself.
Well, you just don't like the look of it now you're older.
Yeah, textures
so
and
you're
stuff.
just like deciding that you now don't like it. But like Caleb, he used to eat so much cauliflower cheese as a baby.
Yeah.
So now I could make that and he'd eat loads of it and he'd love it.
Now it's
and
just
now
you.
he won't eat cauliflower cheese. And I'm like, you love this. And he's like, no, I don't.
Yeah. How dare them get their own taste
I
buds
know, right?
and change.
But yeah, I feel like we've been through all the stages. And
Yeah.
actually my first ever YouTube video,
Yeah.
11 years ago.
During the war.
Yeah, 11 years ago was how to wean a
Today?
baby. Yeah, with Caleb.
Wow.
So I was just preparing to wean him and I thought, I'm going to make a YouTube video because I couldn't find one on it. So I
And I
thought,
was
I'm
like,
going to make
what
one.
is she doing?
Yeah, you were like so embarrassed.
Just to add to the effort, you're now filming it.
Exactly.
The disappointment and the mess.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into it.
Yeah.
First section, we'll actually do weaning, right? Because that's where it all begins.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we won't
should-
talk about it too much because I feel like it, people have such different age children.
yeah,
But
we'll just touch
I
on.
think it's worth talking about a little bit.
Yeah, it's almost a fun bit. We should probably also mention that you breastfed for
Oh, yeah.
however long.
Yeah. Yeah. I breastfed all of the babies exclusively and for quite a long time. I really got on well with it.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. But then when you could wean at 6 months, I was also really excited because there's so much pressure on you as a mum
Yeah.
to feed. And if they weren't sleeping very long, you just never knew how much milk they got.
No,
So when it came to starting solid food, I was like, great, it's going to fill you up.
you can see how much they're eating.
You're going to sleep better.
Yeah.
So I was quite excited about like food.
Yeah, looking back, I didn't realise, but you were actually like really excited about it because I was, I mean, I wasn't there a lot, obviously just working all the hours. So like I'd come home and you'd say, he's eating this, he's eating that.
Yeah.
Or I'd watch a video and I'd be like, oh, wow.
Yeah, but
cleaned
it's
that up well.
funny, like looking back, I think I wish I had waited even longer. Like I should have waited till like the very last point, but I was so excited about it. But then you don't really think about all the mess and the effort and the thought that's then going to go into it.
Yeah.
So in a way, I wish I could go back and like slap young mum Emily around the face and say, just wait a few months.
Yeah, because by the time we got to Jackson, like you obviously
did
mastered
wait.
it. Yeah. So there's two main approaches, right, to weaning. So you've got the first child, puree, everything.
Yeah.
I'm not-
Organic.
A bit like I'm not going to let them watch TV.
Yeah. Yes.
And then,
And then baby-led weaning
Yeah.
as well. So we did a mixture with the boys, but Fraser was definitely like a lot of purees.
our experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But by the time we got to our third baby, I felt like we just had so much going on. We had a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a new baby.
Yeah.
And so it was like just chuck him half a banana and
We
hope for the
supported that
best.
local business, Ella's Kitchen.
Yeah. But then also I think by the third, you sort of know like the weaning bit, it actually isn't that much about nutrition. It's just about learning how to eat and swallow.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if he just eats a tiny bit of something, it's fine.
Yeah.
Whereas with my first, I remember stressing so much that he wasn't getting a lot of food.
What he needed, yeah.
And I actually went, so embarrassing, but I actually went to the doctor. I said, he's not eating like anything pretty much. And he said, like, make a list of everything he's eating. And then actually,
You realise.
once you do start keeping a diary, you're like, oh, we ate 5 raisins then, and then like this much then, and this much then, or whatever it was. If you add it all up, and their tummies are so tiny, I was like, oh, it is actually quite a lot of food.
Yeah.
So.
And he's a great eater now, isn't he, Fraser?
Yeah. I think I stressed about it too much. So that stage is definitely just for like learning the skill of eating.
Yeah.
And not like getting all
Not
the nutrition.
Yeah, how much and what they're eating, making a bit of mess.
Yeah.
And then baby-led weaning. Obviously, we did this more with Jackson, didn't we? But like you just said, that's just great for their independence, isn't it? It really develops them.
And it's like a whole activity.
Yeah.
It's like a fun thing to do
for
them.
everyone.
Yeah. It was so cute that you'd like hand them like, even if it was a bowl and a spoon, like just watching them try to put that in their mouth. It was like so funny to watch.
And when you pull out something that you knew they liked and they're little, they'll be kicking their legs or whatever. And like,
yeah. Or when they try like parsnips or something terrible for the first time, their faces.
The old flour flavoured potato.
Yeah. I've just got so much footage of them eating. So I was like, this is the first time he's ever had this. And I've got to film it.
Didn't get them walking.
Yeah.
We've got them eating.
So from 6 months, if they can sit up, they've got good head control, then you can obviously start weaning.
Technically, they're ready.
And, they're ready. And I started with the purees, and I loved all the Annabelle Carmel books. I bought all of them, read them, and then followed a lot of the puree recipes, which, can be really simple. Yeah. But I remember Fraser just loved sweet potato and mango. He actually loved mango so much. I remember his poo used to smell of it.
Nice.
Sorry, Fraser.
Still does.
I don't want to embarrass you. He still
eldest.
He loves mango still. But what's that?
He still loves mango.
What's wrong with
still smells of.
But yeah, I think like starting making the homemade purees can be daunting, but actually once you get into it,
you just freeze them right as well. Yeah.
So we went to like the local little farm shop.
Yeah.
But all organic veg.
And then you used to put them in those thick ice cube trays, right?
Yeah. With the
you never knew what they were in the freezer. I'd be like,
no, you've got to write it on the bag. Because with those ice cube trays, I actually had a friend, she just bought loads of the different trays. And I said, you're not supposed to buy loads of the trays. You just make a batch.
Put it in a bag.
Once it's frozen, then you decant it into Ziploc bags and you write on the bag, sweet potato from June or whatever, and just use it up in 6 months. And she was like, oh my gosh, I didn't think about putting it into Ziploc bags. But just every time we were then eating, if we were making sausage and mash for dinner, we just put some extra mash into the ice cube trays.
Yeah.
Or, if we're making broccoli,
leftovers,
you can make the puree and stuff. So like you do definitely get in a flow with it as well. But then obviously we did have like the Ella's kitchen and things like that.
Crazy. I do actually thinking about it, our freezer, like back in the day, was just always ram solid, wasn't it? Whereas now we hardly have anything in there, do we? So compared to then, or you just freeze that, save that, you never know.
Yeah.
My rule now is if it's going in the freezer, you're not going to eat it.
No, generally. Like batch cooking.
Yeah, obviously batch cooking. Yeah, it's dinner. But anything else, I think, just freeze it. It's like, you won't use it.
I'll chuck you out in 6 months.
Oh, yeah, I'll chuck you out in 6 months' time. Or 3 years if you're at the back.
Yeah. But with those pouches, I would say always be careful because I remember even if I'd get like the parsnip and something one, if you turn it around, look at the ingredients on the back, it'd be 80% apple.
Yeah.
Even though it says parsnip on it. Yeah. I think you should treat the Ella's Kitchen ones as dessert.
Yeah.
Because they are so heavily fruit, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So it's always worth like
it's awareness now that as well, isn't it? As to what fruit actually does to you. I know it's a whole nother topic. But obviously for kids, it's like a way of them getting to eat parsnips or whatever is adding those sweet bits. But had we known what we know now, probably would change what you feed them, wouldn't you? Because you've just always just assumed that fruit's okay. And
fruit, veg.
Fruit and veg, you often put them together and actually it's the sugars in the fruit that they all happen to
Well, I
love.
think that there's now this shift. There's a lot of health content online.
That's what I mean.
Eddie Abu and all the different podcasts and things. And I've definitely had a health kick, haven't I?
Yeah.
And maybe if I was weaning the kids now, it would be different to how I weaned them.
Yeah.
I think if you could start with veg, that's obviously a great place to start.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they have a bit of banana, like it's like crack to them.
Yeah.
They taste that sugar and they're like, oh my God, I want more of that. So they love it.
Yeah.
But
Well, they're good eaters now,
I
though,
think kids can eat differently to adults as well. But obviously you want to instill in them those good habits from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So,
Routine.
but yeah, I loved I think the perfect thing for us was like a mixture between the two. Like you can have the purees, but then also if you can give them something to hold,
Yeah.
if you can have them also munching on something,
Yeah.
then that worked quite well. Like a bit of avocado, that's really good.
Yeah.
Banana, obviously, bit of sweet potato that's been softened, or like we used to do porridge and Weetabix.
Yeah.
In
Like
the
you say, they don't
morning.
actually eat that now, do they? I mean, probably won't give them Weetabix anyway, but porridge.
Yeah, they're not huge. Like Jackson likes it.
Yeah.
I feel like he orders it, like in the airport and stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's the only one who's really liked it.
Yeah.
But like,
Should probably point out that you did a first aid course.
Oh yes.
Back in the day, didn't you?
Yeah,
With
that's a
regards
really
to
good
choking and
tip.
gagging, what to have. That'd be a good bit of advice, wouldn't it, for a family, really?
Yeah. Definitely.
Did you do a local one, didn't you?
Yeah, I think they have them at like a lot of centers, and I was probably like on a list. Like they probably knew the age of my baby, and I remember I got an email saying that you can do a first aid course before you start weaning.
Yeah.
And I thought that's actually really good because I was quite worried about choking.
Yeah.
And gagging and stuff. So I did a first aid course. You could like take your baby to it.
Yeah.
And do the first aid course. And I actually think we should probably do like some sort of
a
refresher.
refresh,
Yeah.
Definitely.
But that just gives you the confidence that, if anything did happen, this is how
you've got half a clue what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And also they chatted a little bit about allergies as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's definitely worth like keeping a food diary because different food does do different things to your baby.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know that's a bit much, but I did with Fraser. I've like kept a food diary.
Just for the first.
Just for
His
the
memory
first.
box, yeah.
The second and third, God knows what. I was
There's
just
videos at least.
Just survive. Just eat this. I don't know.
You should have some YouTube videos of it. Okay, so that's babies. So then we should probably like move on to like toddlers and kids, like younger kids.
Yeah.
I guess we're through that stage as well, aren't we? Yeah, youngest is 8, so we're now children, older children. That's when you start to get the nose, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like I don't like that, and they know what a vegetable is, and they know what when you're trying to sneak stuff in.
I just feel like we just had this constant stream of snacks. Like I always had a bag full of snacks for when you're out and about, and they were just always hungry. It was great solving. If they were a little bit grizzly, it's like hand them some snacks, and then they would be like a lot happier.
Yeah. But they start to develop like strong food preferences, don't they?
Yeah.
Once they become a toddler, and they'll like something one day, and then the next day it's exactly the same thing they don't like. Whereas at least now they're at an age where like we just know what they like, don't we? They can feed themselves, you know what I mean? Because they know what's in the cupboards. Whereas then it was just like, oh, you ate this yesterday. Like, why are you
but also like because they're kids, and because we're a family of 5, it is so hard to get 5 people to agree on what they all want the same thing for dinner.
Yeah.
Like that is never going to happen.
Well, it's now become stable, hasn't it? So like we all like a curry. We all like a roast dinner.
Yeah. We all like Japanese food. I mean, like teriyaki.
Yeah. So like we know that 3 of our meals will be that a week, and then the rest we sort of like try and diversify a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just give up with cooking certain things. There's nothing more soul destroying than cooking dinner for 5 people, and there's like 4 different options
on every
or
plate.
You all have the same main, and then everyone has different sides because like one likes rice, one doesn't like rice,
noodles.
one wants noodles, one wants a waffle.
Yeah.
And that's just Emily.
We do that. Like I know, there's some people that say, you shouldn't make different meals and things, but
well,
for us,
that's all well and good saying that, but if you make him rice and he doesn't eat it, Like, I don't really like rice on its own. Do you know what I mean? I'll have it with a curry or something. But like, like if it's a side and you're having a bit of, I don't know, fish or meat, like you are just eating the rice on its own generally.
Yeah.
So I won't eat it. Do you know what I mean? I won't go into a restaurant and I'll just have what she's having because it'll make it easier for the chef. We'll all have the same.
Yeah.
You just want your kids to eat, right?
Yeah, because we're the ones like when they're going to bed, that there's nothing worse than if they're like, I'm hungry, and you're like, no, like,
You just
I just
spoilt
want
my
you to
moan.
eat. I want you to.
You just spoilt my moan.
Oh, sorry.
So I've got plenty. I've got plenty of others in the bag. Don't worry.
No, but you can still say that
Thanks.
in a minute.
Thanks for your permission. Yeah, no,
but,
I agree. Yeah,
you know.
don't want them to go to bed hungry.
Yeah, you don't want them to.
It's like a failure, isn't it, as a parent? Well, when they're younger, and then as they get older, you're just like, I want to punish you.
And I think because they're kids and they go through so many phases and growth spurts and things, like you think they could genuinely be hungry.
Are. Yeah, because we try and be good. Like we try and like intermittent fast, so like eat between whatever hours. But with the kids, like
they can't.
They're
really
just growing. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not trying to stay where they are and be good.
Yeah,
their body's telling them, I need something to eat. Which is the whole. You didn't eat your dinner. Do you know what I mean? Or you left whatever because we don't make them eat a whole plate of food if they're not hungry. Do you know what I mean? As long as they've eaten a good amount and they've said they're full up, then you've got to take their word for it.
Yeah.
Although apparently dessert goes in a different stomach.
Yeah. But that is a thing that
your kids have convinced you.
No, that you shouldn't make your children.
Oh, yeah.
Well, studies have shown you shouldn't actually make your children eat everything on their plate.
Oh, well, I've actually got some, we was going to talk about this later, but no, you brought it up.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Just,
Dr. Joan Brunton, Clinical Director for Eating Disorders at a mental health care provider, says children who have to complete everything on their plate at all times can go on to have difficulties recognising hunger and fullness cues and feel controlled around meals, which can lead to emotional and eating difficulties later.
Mm-hmm. So if you always have to eat everything on your plate, then when you're an adult and you say go out for dinner and the portion sizes are ridiculous, you might still think I've got to eat everything on my plate, and then you'll eat it all because that's just your habit.
Yeah, I had that habit. My parents didn't make me, but I just remember you just ate what was on your plate. But then I do remember as I got older, my mum would just serve food like not buffet style, but she'd put it in the thing so you helped yourself.
Yeah, that's quite good.
Which is good, but I guess even that though, you're like, oh, there's more. I'll have more.
Yeah,
but then as a grown boy, I loved it.
Yeah.
I remember reading something. I never read it. It's in the notes. Exposure is key. That kids should try, or children should try 10 to 15 times.
Mm-hmm. You just like keep putting it on their plate.
Yeah.
If they've refused, I think it's even like you could go up to like 40 times.
Yeah.
And they might actually eat a little bit of it.
That is a lot of times, isn't it?
I know, but you just like keep putting it on their plate.
To be fair, we still do that. We just put, even if it's food they don't eat, but we eat, it's a vegetable they don't eat, we just put it on their plate.
Yeah.
Because there must come a day where you go, I will try that, because I have tried everything, like anything, well, not everything, but anything that's ever been put in front of me, I have tried.
Yeah.
And our eldest, literally, I just say to him, mate, you've never had this before, but if you try it, if you don't like it, it's fine.
Yeah.
And that's how you discover. Like, and they're obviously, once you're a teenager as well, they're just like, oh yeah, actually, you're not trying to kill me. You have got my best interests at heart.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely gets a lot easier. But yeah, if you just keep putting it on their plate, and then every now and then they're like in a funny mood, or they'll just, oh, I'm just going to try it. And then they're like, oh, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good. Like especially distinctive tastes like hummus. All of our kids, like, they love hummus.
Yeah.
But it's a real, like, you know, it's quite.
I don't think it's got that much flavour though, hummus. It's a weird texture, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's like quite garlicky, and like, I don't know what it is, but I was like, oh, you'll eat that, but you won't eat like pasta.
Yeah,
or, you know, with some situations.
We've got one that won't eat pasta, haven't we?
Yeah, which we really have to change, because I said to him, you can't be an adult and not.
Because as they get older, it's just such a more cost-effective way of feeding them, right, as well? Like we've got a teenager who eats our size portions pretty much, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. But like once we've got 3 men and us, we're like, we then have to go down the route of like, no, we can't have fillet steak. Do you know what I mean? And whatever. Do you know what I mean? We're gonna do pastas and whatever, like, so that it feeds everyone and it's cheaper.
Yeah, we're gonna need to start saving now for the food bill. Yeah, because Fraser does eat. He probably eats like portions bigger than me now.
Yeah, and the
Because
cost
he's
of
like this
food as
young
well is
man.
like,
Yeah. I remember I have a friend who's got sons, and she said just always have bread and butter on hand as well,
yeah.
like for after they've
Yeah,
eaten.
but then that's not a great habit to get into
No,
either, is it? It's
but I
like
think she
fill
just means
yourself
like
up.
to fill them up
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah. Or
Um,
toasters pudding.
yeah,
Remember you said
toasters
about that
pudding.
once?
Yeah. But also at the toddler stage, it's great if you can make food as fun as possible.
Fun, fun, fun.
Like I used to make YouTube videos and some people would make fun of me, but I was like, I'm sorry that this works. If
Yeah.
I make a sandwich into a teddy bear,
Yeah, that's just for me.
yeah. If I make a dinner into like the noodles or hair,
Yeah,
they are going to actually eat them a bit more than if I didn't do that.
yeah,
And I've also talked a lot about, hidden veg recipes.
yeah,
And again, there's a debate as to whether you should be hiding it or should they just know. But I feel like if you're hiding it, you know they're getting the nutrients. And then also you can say to them, well, that had courgette in it and you
Yeah.
didn't realize it. So see, it's not that bad.
yeah. You
So
can reason with them.
Yeah, we make hidden veg sausage rolls.
They got veg in.
Hidden, yes.
I'm not eating them again.
Hidden veg pasta sauces is such a good one.
Yeah,
I remember I used to do
blended.
this like Annabelle caramel pasta sauce. It was called the Green Goddess pasta sauce. And
Yeah.
it was literally broccoli, peas, spinach boiled down and blended.
Yeah, I
And then you
remember.
put cheese on top of it and they would eat it all up. And, they're getting all that veg,
Yeah,
but they don't necessarily notice.
No.
And
they eat veg now. It's not like it's put them off. Do you know what I mean? So
exactly.
you just pick your battles, don't you? And you just do what suits you and what you think suits your children. And if they literally won't eat veg and like you've tried the psychological battles and like the games and what have you, no, I'm not going to eat it. And you don't want to force your kids to eat anything. So it's like, right, okay, well, I'm going to have to.
Yeah. Like with Caleb, he was a bit of a fussy eater. I
Yeah.
think he was our fussiest,
Yeah.
don't you think? And I remember I used to make him these Hulk smoothies, like just calling it the Hulk smoothie.
Yeah.
He would drink it,
Yeah.
but it would be full of goodness. It was like milk, banana, loads of spinach, and a big spoonful of almond butter.
Yeah.
So all of those are like good.
He still loves a smoothie
good
like that,
things.
doesn't he?
Yeah, but then the good thing about spinach is there's no taste, really.
Yeah.
Like once you blend it up,
Yeah, it's just a weird
you can put
texture
like
on its
2
own.
handfuls of spinach in and it blends to
There's
nothing.
Yeah.
But he'd love the green color and he'd drink it all up and I'd feel good knowing he'd actually had something
Yeah.
that was other than beige bread or, something that day. So it all worked for us. And we made that homemade ice lollies.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, because when they're little, you don't necessarily want to have a ton of sugar, but you can blend
No.
up some fruit.
They just want the idea of frozen something
Yeah.
on a stick.
Yeah, or yogurt
Frozen
frozen.
courgette.
It's really nice. You used to like freeze like petit faloos even.
Yeah,
They
just
used
stick
to
a
love
spoon
those.
in it. Yeah.
I used to and then if they're weaning, like they're all good like
It's
things.
like a treat.
Yeah. So it definitely works. I think presentation, there's a lot to be said for how you
Or
present
getting them involved,
something.
right, as well. That obviously makes it more fun if they've
Yeah.
participated.
It's like,
I mean, it's the drink we had before. It's like we should stop doing that as our little ritual before an episode. I do 2 shots of Jaeger. And I don't even drink. Yeah, I know, that's why I'm getting affected.
I think looking back, we had one quite fussy eater. I actually, at the time, would have said they're all fussy, but now
Realising.
I actually think
Just
only
one.
one was really fussy.
Yeah.
To the point of we'd put all the dinner plates down and he would like kick off. And I think in that sort of situation, the best thing to do is try and stay as calm as possible.
Which
And
is easier
just
said
say,
than done.
Just try, just have a polite bite.
Yeah.
Don't kick off. I remember as well, it was so hard to get him to sit at the table. He would just get up, wander around, jump on the couch, take off his clothes, turn on music.
Yeah.
Like, he would
Whereas
just do
now he actually sits down, doesn't he? But he's an active kid as well. Do you know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah. I used to say to him that I bet they don't let you do this at school. I bet when you're eating lunch at school, you
Of course they
don't
don't.
stand
Why would
on
you
the
say that?
table and take all your clothes off. Like,
yeah.
why are you doing it at home? Yeah, he
Yeah.
was intense. But I think, definitely stay calm, keep reintroducing the things over and over again. And getting them involved in the kitchen is a really good hack.
Yeah.
Like Caleb, was our fussy one, and he actually loves helping in the kitchen. Like
Probably
if
the most, doesn't he? He loves baking.
Yeah. And if he can like cut up some grapes
He loves
or
preparing his own snack, doesn't he? Like that, he enjoys that just as much as eating it. Do you know what I mean? And have you seen he cuts up things into like a million pieces just because he can.
it takes him ages though.
Yeah,
I love
but
it
it
because
gives
I'll
him
just
something
sort
to
of
do.
watch him do it.
Yeah.
And I think, oh, it's like quite a fun activity.
Yeah, and he'll happily do it for his brothers because he's obviously got something to do. Okay, and the last section is bits that have helped us over the years, hacks and time-saving methods. They've saved our sanity, really. And then we've come to learn that actually help a busy family, don't they, day in, day out.
Because it is like the bane of your life.
Yeah.
What's for dinner?
Yeah. And you've made a lot of content about it, but it's true. Like I think batch cooking is like such a good one. And we probably do it once a month, I'd say. So it sorts us out for a couple of weeks of the month, doesn't it? We try and batch cook for, if you don't know what batch cooking is, it's you go to make a meal and instead of making your dinner for one night, you make it for 3 nights.
Yeah.
Each time you make a meal, or you could spend half a day making 3 meals times 4. So then in the freezer, you've got backup.
Yeah.
Like us, we do a curry, we do a chili, spaghetti bolognese, or the bolognese. And you just feel like super powers, don't you, when you pull that out of the freezer the night before for the next day.
Yeah.
And it's the same recipe that you'd make anyway.
Yeah, and it's so good because you can just double or triple the ingredients, make the mess once.
Yeah.
But then you've got all these meals in the freezer for when you have got a really busy clubs night or really busy evening yourself.
And all the time it takes you is just adding, you're chopping 4 onions instead of 1. Do you know what I mean? You're pouring in 4 tomato purees instead of 1. So it really is no much different in time.
Yeah. I think that's a really nice hack because it's something that people can just start from today. Like the next time you're making dinner, depending on what you're making, just think, could I double and triple this?
Yeah.
And make my life easier next week.
Yeah.
And then often you can. And then you can just start slowly doing that. And it makes such a difference. Because we also meal prep sometimes.
Yeah.
Where that's, when you take 3 or 4 hours out of your day and you just meal prep for the week ahead.
Sundays are good for it.
Yeah. But then I do feel like that's a bit more trickier to fit in.
Yeah.
Like it's great and it's amazing to do, especially before you have a baby. Like if you're pregnant and you do a day of meal prep and you can have it all in the freezer and you just know you're going to make your future life easier.
Yeah. And then you've got friends and family come around and just eat it all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That happened to us.
First time round.
But that is...
Oh, yeah, you tuck into that chili that I've made to feed my wife and baby for the next month. Oh, no, enjoy it, yeah.
Yeah. But that takes a little bit more planning. But that is also a great thing to do.
Yeah.
And also having we've got a bit of a repertoire of lazy dinners that we know everyone's going to eat. And you can almost have the dry ingredients in all the time. And we just know that we can pull that out.
Go-tos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because we all love curry, we've always got the curry paste on our shopping list and in the pantry. We've always got teriyaki sauce. Such a good one.
Always got refried beans for quesadillas.
Yes. Tuna.
Yeah, it's always there.
Eggs. You can do an omelette. That could be dinner.
I mean, we're like saving the nation here, aren't we, with these recipe ideas?
No, but it is good because it's happened to all of us where you think, oh no.
Oh, it's always good to know someone else's go-to. She's like, oh yeah,
They're
I should
hungry
do that.
in 10 minutes. Yeah, like omelette and chips, that's a pretty easy one that you could do.
Yeah.
Or we do pancakes for dinner because I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
And if I say we're having pancakes for dinner,
they lose their minds, don't they?
They love it.
Yeah,
they think
you've
it's the
lost
best
your
thing
mind.
ever.
Like, what are you doing?
Do pancakes, bacon, strawberries, breakfast for dinner.
You can tell we live in a Canadian household.
No, but they're so happy with it. And then they're full as well.
Yeah.
And I think once in a while, it's not going to harm anyone.
What's for pudding? You're like,
you
just eating a stack of pancakes? You got broccoli for pudding.
Yeah.
Chicken and broccoli.
Yeah. But then also letting the kids choose a meal for the week can be a really good hack.
Yeah.
If you say, okay, right, you're moaning about dinners. What's your favorite dinner?
What do you want next week?
What do you want next week? And then when it's that night, if they're then like, I don't really want it, you're like, well, you chose this one.
Yeah, it's like when I go to do the food shop, I was like, right, what does everyone want? And it's like, I don't know. It's like, oh, right, yeah, you want to moan about what we're serving up in the cafe,
Yeah.
but you won't tell us what you want.
Don't want to eat it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The joys.
Yeah.
We should also say about snack stations.
Oh, yeah.
I think lockdown probably brought this on, didn't it? Where you just create a basket for each child, because obviously lockdown was intense, and it was like you're like, when you go to school, you don't eat anything. Like, you even come home with food in your lunchbox and in your snack bag. Yeah, you was off school, and all we wanted to do was eat the whole time. I guess that's what we do when we're at home.
We gave the kids like a basket each with their name on it.
Yeah.
And then we'd put their water bottle in it.
Yeah.
And then we'd choose like the snacks they could have for that day.
Yeah.
Once they were gone, they were gone. So it's like, if you smash it by 10.
Yeah, it's just smashing it again.
That's fine. You have smashed them all by 10. But that's it. That's the day quota. And then I loved it because otherwise, they're like, Mum, can I have a snack? Mum, can I have a snack? That times 3 all day. So I was like, no, it's just in the basket. You can help yourself.
Have your chocolate first. That's fine.
And that would still be a really good hack to do during the school holidays.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the summer holidays.
Yeah, you know, when you just got those days where it's like, right, we've got to do some work.
You guys like stay at home today.
Yeah, you're going to just entertain yourselves pretty much, play in the garden, whatever, like, rather than keep coming to you.
Yeah.
And even again, get Caleb to prepare the snacks the night before. Do you know what I mean? Cut up whatever into 1,000 pieces.
They could choose the snacks they want in the basket.
So, being the queen of hacks,
yes,
I'll give you that. What would you say are your go-to kitchen hacks, or your ones that you're still doing today that you've talked about over the years? Because you've mentioned a lot, haven't you, on YouTube?
Yeah. Some of the hacks that I love and do all the time are like the simplest things. Like, I've shown for years that I love to use a pizza cutter instead of a knife. You know, like when you're cutting up the kids' food when they're little. Don't really need to do it as much anymore.
We still do it though.
I still do it for Jackson.
Yeah.
But when they're little, you know, like any pancake, toast, waffle, like pizza, like anything.
Not an awkward knife. You use a pizza cutter.
Yeah, it would be like pizza cutter because it was so quick. I remember
I
started doing it because Jackson was a baby. I'd be holding him.
Yeah.
And I would then be trying to make food for Caleb. So it was easier for me to just use a pizza cutter than a knife.
Did you get that online as well yourself, or did you invent that hack?
I think I invented that hack.
No.
I think I did.
Have you patented it?
But I'm sure other people cracked that code as well.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking,
you didn't invent it. You just didn't know it.
I've got a baby in one arm. Yeah. How am I going to cut up Caleb's food? He's hungry. You know, like it was just like a necessity. So even if they're having beans on toast, I'd like
cut the
toast and then put the beans on it.
Yeah.
But that is a hack that I just think it's so easy. And then, I actually think we use pizza cutter for everything, but then scissors for pizza.
Yeah.
Which is weird. And then also something that blew my mind when I discovered it is that you can put potato waffles in the toaster.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Because that was just a hack, and then now it's on the packaging, I've noticed.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
At Mrs. Emily Norris, thank you.
Oh, it doesn't. But we used to put it in the air fryer or the oven. Yeah. And then actually, if you put it in the toaster like maybe 3 times or till it looks sort of done.
Yeah, which is way more effort than putting it in the oven, but it's a good hack.
No, but it just feels like quicker, especially when we, like we said,
when you forget.
Sometimes people have different sides. Caleb loves a potato waffle.
Yeah.
So we can just chuck that in there,
whilst we're all having noodles or rice,
Or you can even have it for like lunch because it doesn't feel as much work if you're just sticking it into the toaster. You've got a hack, haven't you?
No.
A kitchen hack. Matt's wearing his onion goggles now for anyone who can't see and is listening this on audio. He looks like he's going biking or something.
I can't cut an onion without crying. I'm one of those. So
you're really sensitive.
To be fair, we now use that pulley onion chopper, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing content right here.
But it is good.
Yeah, but I loved my onion goggles.
Yeah.
My LEGs.
Mm-hmm. And also, I love, the wooden spoon across the boiling pot.
That's crazy. I still don't understand how that works. I'm sure someone will tell us.
It stops it from boiling over.
Yeah, so to stop a pot of boiling water boiling over, you place a wooden spoon across the top, right?
That must be why they're wooden spoons.
Yeah.
That must be why.
Yeah, probably is the actual reason why.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
What came first?
mind-blowing hacks.
And then we should probably talk about mealtime, family time. Now they're older as well, we actually have mealtime, right? When they were toddlers and babies, you just had an evening, didn't you, of chaos and mess.
Well, I think we even went through a phase like when they were toddlers of
Eating
let's
separately.
put the TV on.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're eating, they'll be distracted, but then they'll also eat easier than.
And we also ate separately, right? Because I'd be getting in late.
Yeah.
And we'd feed them.
Yeah, at one point we'd feed them at 4:00 and then we'd also have dinner later on.
After they'd gone to bed at like 7, 8 o'clock. So one would be like doing bedtime and one would be cooking. Whereas now, most evenings we get a chance to eat together at some stage, don't we?
Yeah. We have like a full family meal. So we try to sit down, don't we?
Yeah.
With no devices.
Yeah.
For all of us. For all of us, yeah. Us included. And talk about their day.
And we don't just ask them, well, how was your day? What happened at school? Like, we try and go a little bit further than that, don't we?
Yeah, because we've discovered that you don't really get much from them.
Until they're going to go, until bedtime.
Yeah.
Then suddenly they want to talk about their day at school.
Yeah.
Those time delaying tactics.
There's a good conversation starters when we're having dinner and we're trying to encourage them to chat to us because they don't really want to chat to us anymore. Is what was the best thing about your day? Or what's something funny that happened today?
Yeah. Who got in trouble?
Yeah, that is
That's
the one.
Jackson's favourite. Who got in trouble today?
That
apart
really
from you.
Works if you say that. They want to tell you like the naughtiness that happened at school. Or we'll say things like, if you could teleport anywhere, where would you go?
Yeah.
If you could bring only 3 things to a desert island, what would you take?
Yeah.
Where would you want to go on holiday? Like all of those kinds of things. It just like sparks a bit of conversation.
Yeah.
And a bit of family time.
Something else, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than moaning at each other.
Yeah. To give you all a little bit of like a light at the end of the tunnel and some hope, now our older kids are really good at eating and they will try anything. And actually, the second you put Fraser's dinner down, it's gone 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like so hungry where he's growing so rapidly. And when we go on holiday and there's, a buffet, he'll be going up to the omelette man and ordering all kinds of different things. He'll try sushi. We actually play a game called Sushi Go, and it's a card game that they love. So they were like,
because of it, they tried it.
Yeah, they were really keen to try sushi because of it. Like, not a lot of them liked all of the sushi.
Yeah. But
it's just crazy to me that now they'll try sushi and, all kinds of different meals. So it does come good. So don't stress, try and be calm. But although I know it is so soul destroying, especially it feels like sometimes the more time you spend on a meal, the quicker they chuck it in your face and they're like, I don't want to eat this.
Yeah.
And you think, why did I spend an hour slaving away to make you this meal that you don't want to eat?
I always held on to, like, my sister was a really fussy eater, like worse than our kids were. And now she's really good. Like, obviously, she's a grown adult. But like, she now would eat and try most things. You know what I mean? I remember always thinking that when I had kids, I was thinking that they do come good. And don't get me wrong, you must get some sad cases where they don't. And do you know what I mean? But generally.
Yeah. And as soon as you're old enough to think, when I eat well and I eat vegetables, I feel better.
Yeah.
You become aware that, I actually feel bad when I eat too much sugar.
Yeah.
And, it's not good for me. So it will all be okay.
Emily's giving you her word.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah. So come knocking.
It's going to all be fine. Yeah.
Can I moan?
You can have your moan now.
I mean,
yes.
You've already spoiled my moan, but I'll tell it in my version.
Okay.
My moan this week is kids saying they're hungry when it's bedtime.
Yes.
Like you said about things being soul destroying, but there is nothing worse because you as well mentally are done as well, because now our kids go to bed a bit later. Like come 8:30, 9 o'clock, you just want that hour or two together or sorting out stuff for the next day if you haven't sorted it, doing bits of work. Mentally you're just done, and then they're like, I'm hungry. And like, you probably are hungry, so I can't say no, but you're also stalling bedtime as well.
Yeah.
And like, you don't want them to go to bed hungry, so you just do it. But it's just so like, oh, I should have known. We always set an alarm on our phones to like offer them a snack.
Well,
at like
no, I
7:30.
do. I say like 5 minutes. The kitchen's closing.
Kitchen's closed. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll be wiping down the surfaces, and then if someone asks for something, I'm like, oh no, you didn't, because I have just cleaned the whole kitchen. So now before I finish the sink and everything, it's like 5-minute warning, and often they'll be like, "Can I have an apple? Can I have some yogurt?"
Yeah.
And then they get that order in, and I'm like, that is it.
See, if they're laid in bed, that's when you just like, oh, you are obviously hungry.
In that situation, though, I'm like, you can have milk because milk is food, and I'll just give them a little bit of milk.
Yeah.
So you don't want to have too much to drink before bed.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's food, and you've had so many opportunities to eat. Like, it's a bit of a joke. But because I knew this was going to be...
I just let them have chocolate, Haribo, like just fill them up with rubbish.
Yeah.
Fun time, Dad.
Because I knew this was going to be on mine, I actually
counteract.
Googled. No, I searched like, what are good snacks to give your kids at bedtime if you really think they're hungry,
toothpaste,
and you want them to eat something? What are snacks that are not going to give them a ton of energy because you want them to actually go to sleep?
This is good. I like this. Yeah.
Yeah. So on ChatGPT, they said Greek yogurt and berries is very good.
We do that.
We do Greek yogurt because they love it.
Yeah.
And also it's really quick. So I love it. I'm just like,
yeah.
bam. Like we buy a big tub of it.
Yeah.
And we just put it in a bowl and I'm like, here. But it has protein and probiotics. So that is good.
Yeah.
Also, whole grains and cheese. So cheese and whole grain crackers is actually not a terrible one. I know there's that myth of like, if you eat cheese before bedtime, you'll get nightmares.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's true. But often actually Fraser, because he is getting bigger, at 9 o'clock at night, sometimes he will make himself cheese on toast.
Yeah.
And
you don't mind that.
That's not so bad. Yeah.
I always remember eating that, studying late, cheese on toast keeps you going.
Yeah, it's like a good one.
What did you used to eat late at night, like as a kid?
Yeah.
I used to smash, we said it again, a bowl of cereal. I didn't even eat cereal in the morning. This is the worst thing. It's a bowl of sugar. Now we just try and avoid the kids having cereal anyway, just because of the amount of sugar in it.
Yeah.
We just don't have it in the house. I think if we go on holiday, we're like, yeah, you can have some.
You have some Cheerios.
We're not perfect parents, but and we've given them cereal for many years.
Oh yeah.
And then we just had a moment where we're just like, oh my gosh, we really shouldn't be letting them have a bowl of cereal.
I think as we've got older, and we've got more health conscious, then we're just taking things out of our house.
Yeah.
We think,
but it's the only way, isn't it? Because if it's there, even I'm tempted to smash
some
bowl
Cheerios.
of Cocoa Pops. Or
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I used to, you'd eat all sorts late at night, wouldn't you?
Just when you're studying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another good snack is nut butters and banana slices. So
you actually quite like that.
I love that. I love almond butter
on banana.
On banana, yeah. Or boiled egg and some whole grain crackers. I mean, my kids
boiled egg. I mean, you know,
wouldn't want to eat that before bed. But I thought there's actually some good options there.
Yeah.
You can have some cheese and crackers, or you can have some yogurt, or you can have, and that's not gonna...
Yeah. Well, that's our thing. When they do sell on a snack, we say nothing out the snack drawer, like packeted food. Like it just has to be something out the fridge, that you can prepare.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out, won't we?
Yeah.
We've done a good job.
Yeah.
No pressure. It'd be interesting to see what they feed their kids based on their upbringing.
That is the crazy thing, because we make meals for our kids that we had as kids, so we are forming habits, kind of. No.
Only until recently, though. We never ate roast dinners, and I grew up eating so many roast dinners.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an age thing.
Yeah, it's funny how you bring the English food, obviously, and I bring the Canadian food.
Yeah.
As a kid, I always had quesadillas and pancakes.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Yeah, you've got a lot to answer for.
Chicken escalopes, that was my family.
You invented that, did you, in Canada?
Yeah. And you bring more of the
stodge.
Sausage, chips and beans.
Oh, that is the go-to, right?
It's the ultimate.
Emily doesn't really like it. I think the kids would eat it. Sausage, chips and beans, I'm there.
That is literally...
It's what I grew up on.
It's
gravy dinners as well.
If I offered you a really gourmet Michelin star dinner or sausage, chips and beans, I think you'd choose sausage,
chips, beans every time. Yeah. You just can't go wrong. Salt and vinegar. Oh.
Yeah.
You're making me hungry.
Should you have it tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, but anyway, I think that is it for this video. We really hope you enjoyed it and actually got some tips and inspiration. There's loads more kind of foodie content over on my YouTube channel if you did want any ideas, slow cooker ideas.
Plug.
Instapots ideas, meal prep, all of that. And of course, we would love you to rate us, review, comment, follow us on Instagram.
Tell us your
We've
minds.
set up an Instagram page, haven't we, Dom?
Yes, we have.
It's called What They Don't Tell You Pod. And we are putting up loads of content over there as well. So yeah, feel free to follow us. And thank you so much for listening and watching. And we will see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.